Welcome back to Shadow Rift First Edition. All decks are shuffled, everything's ready to roll. So let's begin. We begin by drawing cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And what do we have? We have a Heroism, a Might, Thieving Strike, a Wound, and another Wound. So we're going to be drawing 2 extra cards for sure. Lightning Daggers, and the second card is Prowess. So that's our hand. Oh, and that's the end of our deck. It's our hand for player 1 and player 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's see what we have here. We have a strike, a might, a wound, a prowess, and a seal. Excellent. Maybe one might card. Let's just draw one card and a prowess. No, this could be not so good. All right, that's drawing our cards. Now we're going to refresh the town. So 5 cards, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cards from the town deck. We'll see who's in our town this turn. Ah, the witch. Excellent, excellent, excellent. That is going to help us a lot. We have a guard. We have the priest. That's another one, good one to have. We have another guard. Okay. And we have the mayor. Play an extra action. Okay, so lots of good cards there. And now it is the Traveler's deck. And the 2 Travelers we get are, oh great, the Backstabber. Well, he's an infiltrator. He goes into our discard. And our second Traveler this time is another guard. So we're going to want to make sure we spend another gold coin and hire that guard back. Whew, alright, that was very quickly done. Now it's Monsters in Play Act. We don't have any, but we're going to have a ton of monster power this time. Alright, well, we don't have any monsters in play to act, but we have 2 symbols here on our 2 power cards, the Shadow Rift and the Dead Hunger. That's going to add 2 to our already 2, so we're going to go from 4, we're going to go to 8 power. Yeah, alright. And our first card here is the Hasty Creation, so it only costs 2 to bring him out. He comes out. We are down to 6 power. Whoops. Alright, and we just keep going. We might get a pile of monsters this time. We get a Self-Stitched Fiend, whatever that means. And it costs 4 power to bring him out, so we just stack them up. So that's 4 power to bring him out. We still have 2 power left. Another card. And this is a Body Snatcher, and he costs 3 powers to bring out. 3, so he's not quite able to come out. But we do have 2 monsters in play now. We have the Hasty Creation, which has 6 hit points, and we have the Self-Stitched Fiend at also 6 hit points. So that's not the greatest, and we have 2 power left here, but we have the Priest. So we're going to have to use some cunning plans again to do what we need to do. That was adding new monsters. Now it's time to go to our heroes and have them play their cards and see what we can do. Alright, so we're going to start off once again with player 2. And player 2 is going to use the Witch. The Witch gives us 1 magic. And he's going to use the Seal, which is his 1 action for the turn. You may put a card from the monster power area to the bottom of the monster deck. We are going to do that. We're going to take this Dead Hunger power card. That's going to go on the bottom of the monster deck. So that's the first part of Seal. And we've also spent a magic by using the Witch, and we're going to seal a Shadow Rift. The party earns a Heroism. So that's awesome. So with the Witch's help, once again, boy, that Witch has come in handy this game, we are sealing our first of 2 Shadow Rifts. And so we seal the second Shadow Rift, we're going to win the game. Of course, we haven't seen the second Shadow Rift yet, but there you go. And that's going to gain us a Heroism. The next person to get a Heroism card is player 2, and so he gets 1 Heroism card. Excellent. Now it is time to start doing what we need to do. And we're going to, what are we going to do here? He's going to do 1 strike, 1 melee strike against the Hasty Creation, which will inflict 2 damage because the Hasty Creation says a first melee attack against the Hasty Creation. Each round deals 1 hit. So that's 2 hits plus the fact that player 1 then is going to use lightning daggers at the same time. Discard lightning daggers from play when a hero attacks for +1. The attacking hero draws a card. So the hasty creation has 6 hit points. That's going to do a total of 3 damage to the hasty creation. That's awesome. And player 2, because he was the attacking player, gets to draw a card. He draws a prowess. So that's good. He's going to spend 2 of his prowess to get rid of this wound, but I forgot to take a wound for doing the melee hit, so we're getting rid of the wound, but he's going to take 1 wound for doing the hit. So there we go. So that balances that out. He has 2 prowess left, and with the 2 prowess left, once again, it doesn't hurt to get a few extra gold coins kicking around. And that is going to be that. Oh, and he's also then, he's going to spend that gold coin that he just did to hire back the guard for 1 gold, who was our traveling villager this time. That basically covers off player 2, and lightning strike was used. Player 1 basically has not a heck of a lot he can do. I think he's just going to spend 2 prowess and get rid of 1 of his wounds, because wounds, of course, just clog up your hand. That leaves him 1 prowess left, which basically means he can't really do anything. And that's going to be the end of that. And so that's going to end that turn. So I think we are ready to head into the next one. I'll have to reshuffle decks and get set up. But just before we reshuffle all the decks and get ready, forgot, player 1 hasn't used a villager yet. Player 1 is going to use the priest. And the priest, monsters lose 2 power points. So we're going to go ahead, we're going to use the priest for player 1, and we're going to get rid of the 2 power points that the monster player has, and it's gone. So now we're going to reshuffle everything and do another turn. All right, we're ready for the next turn. So we're going to start off by drawing cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for player 1. And what do we have here? Heroism, explore, a wound, a prowess, and a might. So that looks like 2 extra draws. Heroism, so we still have 2 extra draws. Another heroism, we still have 2 extra draws. A strike, 1 extra draw, and a strike. So we've got a mitt full of cards this time. So that's pretty excellent. And player 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And let's see what player 2 gets. An explorer, a fireball, heroism, and a heroism. So that's going to be 2 extra cards to draw. Gets another seal and another seal. So we have 3 seal cards, a fireball, and a couple of heroism cards. All right, not bad. I don't think that's too bad. That is drawing our cards, refreshing the town. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we get 5 cards for the town. And what do we have? We have the robber. A hero may discard an attack to remove robber from play. Well, that's annoying. Otherwise, cards that cost gold cost 2 extra to buy. A corpse. Oops. So we have an infiltrator and a corpse. Not looking good. We have the child. Okay, so we have a legitimate villager, so we're not going to lose the game this way. The explorer, you may put the top card of the monster deck on the bottom if we use her, and we have a guard. So that's pretty good. All right, who do we have for travelers? We have the baker. Each hero removes a wound from their hand, so the baker would be a good one to get into our town. And we also have the gravedigger. Spend a gold to remove a corpse from play. It's another useful traveling card. All right, everything is set, but we are in for some trouble because now we're going over to the monsters in play act, and we have 2 of them, and it doesn't look good. All right, and here's where things start to get ugly. And we do these in order. So, and of course, we start from here and we move this way, but we start at the bottom and then we go to the top. So here we have the monsters. We have some zombies that haven't come into play yet. All right, the first one that's going to act has 3 damage on it, and that's the hasty creation. The hasty creation is going to move to number 1, and it says kill the innkeeper. Well, guess what? We don't have the innkeeper in town. So he's going to have to deal with this guard. We have one guard in town. It says if a monster would kill another villager or break a wall, a guard dies instead. So the guard takes on the hasty creation and is killed and goes to the bottom of the traveler deck. Okay, so we will be able to buy him back again later on. That was the hasty creation. Okay, he's not the only one to act though. Next up we have the self-stitched fiend. When he goes to number 1, he kills the stonemason. Well, isn't that fascinating? Because the stonemason is not in play. We don't have any more guards. And so what happens here is we flip the top card off of the town deck. Oh no! And we get the witch. So the self-stitched fiend actually finds and kills the witch instead. Witch is now going to go to the bottom of the traveler deck. That's unfortunate. The witch has been so useful and helpful to us all along. That was Monsters in Play Act. Now monsters gain power. Well, there's only 2 players, no power cards. We're going to go to power of 2. The Body Snatcher needs a power of 3 to bring him into play. So that's not going to happen. Okay, well, we took a bit of a beating there, which isn't good. And I didn't put a corpse into the town, which I should have for when the guard dies. So we're going to get a corpse added to our town deck for the dead thing. Oh, and we also, sorry, we also get a corpse for the dead witch. So we're going to add 2 corpse cards to our town deck. So the corpses are piling up. That's not good. All right, got that all done. Now let's go over to our heroes, and they get to act and try to do something. All right, so once again, I think I have a plan. So the first thing we're going to do, player 1 is going to do just a straight melee hit against the hasty creation. That's going to cause us to get a wound, but it's going to do 2 damage to the hasty creation. So we're going to do that. We're going to take our wound because of it, because of melee attack. But we're going to make him go from 3 hit points of damage up to 5. So he only has 1 hit point left. And then we're going to, and that was a quick action, so we can still use an action. I'm going to spend, I believe, 2 of the prowess here to get rid of this wound from my hand, because we don't want wounds if we can help it. And I do believe I took a wound, yeah I did, for that melee attack. Alright, that's going to leave me 1 strike and basically 3 heroism cards and an explorer. And so with that, I'm going to do another attack, but I'm going to make it a ranged attack so I won't take any more wounds. So I'm going to use basically 2 prowess off of here, plus the strike making it ranged, and we're going to do 1 more damage, but we're going to do it to the self-stitched fiend. So he's going to have 1 damage of 6. And that basically is going to leave me an explorer and a gold. And I think I'm going to do both abilities. We're going to look at the top card of the traveler deck. We can put it in the bottom if we want. I'm going to spend the gold off this heroism card because can't really use it for anything else. And we're going to put the top card of the monster deck on the bottom. So we're doing both of those things for player 1. So we're going to look at the traveler deck. It is the sage. We will keep the sage there. And we're going to take the body snatcher and we're going to put him to the bottom of the deck. And the reason I'm doing this bottom of the deck stuff is we want to get through the deck, maybe find that second shadow rift, try and close it. Okay, carrying on now, we have player 2. Player 2 has 3 seals. Well, that's not very useful. But we do have the fireball. Now, I'm going to be able to play 1 action. And well, let's see. At the top of the monster on the bottom. Well, we could have used the explorer to do that. Put the top card of the monster deck on the bottom, but we're not going to bother with that. Explorer we can't use anymore because you can't do 2 actions. He is going to use the fireball though. And with the fireball, he's going to power it up twice. So how is that going to work? Well, these seal cards are both worth 1 magic each if you spend them that way. So we're going to do that. So we're going to power up the fireball twice, so it's going to give +1 hit, and it's also going to add 1 hit to each other monster in play. So it's going to do 2 hits to one monster, and it's going to do 1 hit to the rest. So how does that work? Well, we're going to do 2 hits to the Self-Stitched Fiend. That's going to take it up to 3 hit points of damage from 1. And the Hasty Creation already has 5 hit points of damage, and that spillover damage is going to do 1. The Hasty Creation will be killed, and it's going to be worth 1 Heroism card. And the Heroism card this time goes to player 1. So they're going to get a Heroism card. And the deck's getting pretty big, so that's good. And we still have more activities to do. Can't play Seal anymore because we can't do more than 1 action. He still has 2 cards left, so I think we're just going to use it as 2 prowess, which then will buy us a gold coin. And the gold coin is going to go into our pool here, so 3 gold coins. And that will conclude this entire episode. So, I don't know. Again, we've sealed 1 of the 2 Shadow Rifts, and of course that's the win condition we're going for. We kind of ignored building walls. Walls do good things for you if they keep coming out in your town and helping. But I was just trying to find those shadow gates, or shadow rifts, and shut them down. And that's why player 2 had bought so many of those seal cards, to be able to try and do that. Of course, I think we used up all the seal cards now, so I don't know if he even has any seal cards left. That could be a problem. Well, thanks so much for watching along. Thanks for liking my videos if you do. Thanks for all the subscriptions. I really appreciate that as well. And join me next time for the continuation of Shadow Rift. This is the 1st edition, and we're playing against the Necromancers.